Erica is the eldest of three siblings, with her father owning a business and her mother employed part-time at a trading company. The twins, Lisa and Charlie, are 6 years younger and were seen as flawless by their parents. Erica's family role shifted after their birth, morphing into a combination of nanny, housekeeper, and assistant. Unlike her peers, who were enjoying their youth, Erica picked up the twins from school, helped with their homework, and handled various after-school duties, alongside managing household chores like cleaning and cooking. Meanwhile, Lisa and Charlie, who never helped with chores, often left messes for Erica to clean, /and/Nat15. She finally expressed her frustrations at dinner, questioning why she alone managed household tasks. Her mother dismissed her concerns, attributing them to traditional family roles. Comparisons with her friends' families only ignited her mother's disapproval. The twins enjoyed Erica's trouble, showing it with smug looks. When she later approached them about contributing to chores, their response was dismissive, as they believed their main focus should be on academics. Besides chores, the twins derived pleasure from complicating Erica's life, often creating messes or lying to their parents about her shortcomings, /and/enduring Erica's final high school year. Instead of cherishing college aspirations, she faced the harsh reality of being overshadowed by her siblings. Her parents revealed financial limitations, focusing all resources on the twins' education. Despite her efforts and achievements, her pleas were ignored, with her father assuring her of her resourcefulness to find a way. That evening marked a turning point for Erica. Enraged rather than broken, she sought employment, securing a corporate job within weeks. Moving out post-graduation, she tackled life's challenges head-on without a degree but armed with determination and real-world experience. As she advanced her career, the twins indulged in their privileges. Noticing the cars of Lisa and Charlie were already parked there as I arrived. The next morning, I was determined to hear my father's perspective, certain that he couldn't possibly agree with my mother's decision. His fairness, even with his favoritism toward the twins, had always seemed more reliable. Restlessly, I had spent the previous night sleepless, my mother's words echoing in my mind. "Oh, don't be so dramatic, Erica. This is why I didn't want this conversation," she had admonished as she dismissed my concerns. Despite always favoring my siblings, this time it explicitly felt like contempt for me, not merely neglect. The notion was clear. Lisa and Charlie were invited because they were college graduates, capable of mingling with the high society. When I confronted her, already knowing the answer, she confirmed, "Of course they are, Erica. They're educated and know how to behave in sophisticated circles." My inquiry about why I wasn't invited to her birthday was met with a stark explanation. "It's an upscale event with important guests, business associates, and club friends. I'd be embarrassed to introduce you with your lack of degree, Erica." What could I possibly say? My hands trembled as I dialed her, demanding clarity on my exclusion. The call, answered only on the fourth ring, revealed the nonchalant truth. "I didn't invite you because I don't want you there," she stated coldly. My moment of realization came abruptly earlier, while idly scrolling through social media during lunch. Seeing my cousin Sarah's post about the party, I was startled. Her enthusiastic caption about Aunt Margaret's celebration made my heart sink, clutching my sandwich in suspension. Instinctively, I reached out, questioning the event's details. Her swift response about my mother's upcoming 55th birthday celebration left me shocked that I was entirely kept in the dark. The irony of our family situation wasn't lost on me. Lisa, riding on her business administration degree, couldn't hold a job for more than a few months, always finding excuses. Charlie, although a warehouse supervisor, hardly needing a costly degree, also enjoyed the prestige that came with it. Despite their financial struggles, they took every opportunity to mention their university days amid family gatherings, often as I quietly observed, knowing my salary exceeded their combined incomes. Back in college, Charlie would start, as Lisa gave me the familiar sideways glance she'd perfected over the years. Our parents went into debt for those prestigious educations, Yet, ironically, both my siblings were living paycheck to paycheck. My parents had managed to fund their entire college journey, from tuition to housing. Meanwhile, I maintained a job more stable and lucrative than both combined. When I rang the doorbell at my parents' house, my mother greeted me with visible reluctance, like I was an unannounced solicitor rather than her eldest child. "Erica, why are you here?" she asked, her disapproval apparent. "I needed to have a conversation with Dad," I expressed as I pushed past her and entered the house. They were all gathered in the living room. Dad sat in his usual armchair, while the twins lounged on the couch, as if they owned the place.
"Dad,"
I began, my voice already trembling with emotion. "Did Mom inform you about our conversation yesterday? What's your take on it?" He shifted uncomfortably in his seat, avoiding eye contact. "I think your mother's right. It would be better if you didn't come," he replied. His words struck me like a slap. I looked around at these people supposed to be my family. "All of you feel this way, don't you?" I asked. Lisa rolled her eyes. "No one wants you there." Charlie nodded in agreement. "Can't you just accept something without making it a big deal?" he added. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So none of you see anything wrong with excluding me from a family celebration? Don't you realize how unfair this is? It's always been the same. The twins being the favorites while I'm pushed to the background. You don't even see me as a family member anymore," I exclaimed. Lisa jumped up, pointing accusingly at me. "This is exactly why we don't want you there, Erica. You're always such a drama queen, making a scene over everything. Every time something good happens to us, you try to ruin it with your attitude. You're just jealous because Charlie and I have achieved something while you—" Her voice trailed off. "That's enough," I interrupted, raising my voice. "Made something of yourselves? You can't keep a job for 3 months, and Charlie is working in a warehouse. The only thing you've achieved is being a joke," I retorted. My mother gasped, clutching her pearls as if I had committed an unforgivable faux pas. Desperately, I turned to my father, seeking some form of support, but his expression hardened. "I think it's time for you to leave," he said firmly. "This conversation is over. Leave our house immediately." I stormed out, slamming the door so hard the windows shook. As I sat in my car, I glanced back at them through the living room window, probably already criticizing my dramatic exit. But I didn't care anymore. They had finally revealed their true colors. All of them. There's a saying that revenge is a dish best served cold, and sometimes life presents an opportunity too perfect to ignore. That happened 2 weeks before my mother's birthday. I had gone to a small cafe downtown for lunch, not my regular spot, since my usual place was packed. While waiting for my order, I glanced around the room and saw her. My mother, trying to look inconspicuous in a wide-brimmed hat, was seated in a corner booth. I'd recognize that perfect posture anywhere. Across from her was a man I didn't know. He appeared to be in his early 40s, well-dressed in a business suit, and definitely not my father. As I watched, he reached across the table to touch her hand, and she giggled like a love-struck schoolgirl. Before I realized it, my phone was in hand, pretending to scroll through social media while discreetly angling the camera toward them.
Click.
Another touch.
Click.
A shared laugh.
Click.
They were there for nearly an hour before leaving. I waited a few moments before following. They got into his car, a sleek black Mercedes, and I trailed behind, keeping a safe distance. When the car halted at a red light, I managed several clear shots of them kissing passionately, oblivious to the world around them. The Mercedes eventually parked at the Grand Plaza Hotel. I parked across the street, captured their entrance hand in hand like teenagers in love on video, and watched them check in, unable to keep their hands off each other while waiting for the elevator. Back at home, I began plotting. A quick internet search of the man's license plate led me to his social media profiles. It wasn't difficult to find him. Richard Thompson, a successful real estate developer with an office downtown. Married with 3 kids. Over the following days, I meticulously prepared everything. First, I had the photos developed professionally in large format. The one of them kissing in the car turned out particularly well. The footage of them at the hotel entrance went onto a USB drive. along with other clips I had captured. I purchased the most elegant gift box I could find, cream-colored with gold trim. Each photo was carefully rolled into a tube and tied with a silk ribbon, very classy, very sophisticated, precisely how my mother always liked things. The greeting card was the final touch. In my best calligraphy, I wrote Mr. Thompson's full name and address along with a small note. Thought you might want to know who your husband really is. The present was intended for his wife. I knew she'd be in attendance at the party, as my mother had specifically mentioned her while discussing her exclusive guest list. I closed the box and adorned it with a lovely golden ribbon, giving it the appearance of a lavish birthday gift that concealed its contents perfectly. The day for my mother's birthday bash arrived, and I had orchestrated everything meticulously. The courier was scheduled to make the delivery at 8:30 p.m. precisely, aligning with when they would begin opening the presents. That evening, I sat in my apartment, my eyes glued to my phone anxiously. The courier confirmed the package's delivery at 8:32 p.m. Now, all I could do was anticipate the outcome. The following morning, at 7 a.m., my cousin Sarah called, her voice bursting with excitement. "Oh my God, Erica, you won't believe what unfolded at the party last night," she exclaimed without waiting for me to respond. It was absolutely insane. Everything had been unfolding according to Aunt Margaret's plans, so elegant and sophisticated. But then came the gift opening. Sarah paused, taking a breath before rushing ahead. Aunt Margaret was putting on this grand display, reading each card aloud and expressing delight over each gift. Then she reached this exquisitely cream-colored package. I could envision it precisely. My mother, the center of attention, likely dressed in something elegant, surrounded by her selectively gathered guests. As she opened the box, she commented on how beautifully the items were presented, rolled up, tied with ribbons as she untied the first one. Sarah's pitch elevated with thrill. And then, as if in slow motion, she unraveled it, and Erica, her face morphed in color almost instantly. I remained composed as I queried, "What happened next?" "Everything exploded," Sarah detailed. The photograph revealed her kissing some man. The same man and his wife were right there at the party. Your dad snatched the photo and began unrolling the rest. Each was more damning than the last. Entering a hotel together, holding hands, everything. Sarah continued, practically vibrating with thrill. Your dad just lost it, lunged at the guy right across the table amidst the cake and champagne. The man's wife started shrieking at your mom, cursing her openly, calling her every name she could muster. Sarah's voice animated the scene. She hurled anything she could grab, glasses, plates. It was utter bedlam. Some tried to intervene, but it was a riot. "Sounds intense," I remarked cautiously. Sarah's tone descended to a hushed, conspiratorial note. "To be honest, it was almost spectacular. Your mom has spent years looking down on everyone, priding herself on her propriety and family values, and now this? The hypocrisy is just," she chuckled. "I know it's wrong to say, but she got her just desserts if you ask me." Meanwhile, I contemplated my mother's meticulously orchestrated event, her carefully preserved image, her cherished elite companions, all collapsing brutally, like the champagne flutes her affair partner's wife had shattered. Within days, word rippled through my relatives. Dad had vacated the house, holed up in a hotel, and had initiated divorce proceedings via his attorney. I wasn't shocked by Dad's decision. His pride was monumental, and this public disgrace was something beyond his capacity to pardon. However, what had surprised me was the phone call from Dad days later. "Erica." His voice tinged with unfamiliar vulnerability and aging uncertainty. He said, "I need to ask something. I'm arranging for DNA testing for all three of you. I need some of your samples, hair and saliva." Unexpected as it was, a notion I perhaps should have foreseen, and my heart raced. "You think we might not be—" I began, but he cut in swiftly. "I don't know what to believe," he confessed. "After what I found out about your mother, I'm unsure of everything. Can I get the samples?" "Of course," I agreed. "Come by any time." That afternoon, He arrived looking defeated, shoulders sagging, his expression weary. The man who took the samples, carefully placing them in sterile containers, was not the firm, assertive father of my memory, but someone defeated and seeking to piece back together life's fragments. 2 weeks dragged by, during which I tried, unsuccessfully, to ignore the looming matter of the tests. Then came Dad's follow-up call. "Can I come over?" The air felt heavy with emotion.
"We need to talk," he said.
20 minutes later, he sat on my couch, eyes glued to his hands. "I got the results," he finally revealed. "You're mine, only you. The twins, they're not my kids. Your mother, she confessed it all." He looked up, his eyes reddened. She had an affair years ago. The man she loved wouldn't leave his family, so she had his children. He died a few years back. I've cut off contact with the twins. I cannot even look at them anymore. They are reminders of deceit and betrayal. The pieces of the puzzle finally fit together. The favoritism, the years of special treatment. Dad's bitter voice continued. "She loved him and his kids, but didn't truly love me. And you. She pushed aside, making you an outsider. God, Erica, I let her do it. I turned against my only real child," he admitted, reaching out for my hand but stopped. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I was a terrible father, but if you'll allow me, I'd like a chance to be a father to my real daughter." I looked at this shattered man, my father, feeling a complex mix of emotions: anger, pity, satisfaction, hope. "I'll think about it," I said at last. It was all I could offer him at that moment. On a Tuesday afternoon, in the middle of a work meeting, my phone lit up with my mother's number. Excusing myself, I answered. "I know it was you," she said without preamble. Her voice controlled, but simmering with anger. "The birthday gift, the photos, all of it, it was you." "Yes," I replied without hesitation. Her voice cracked with anger. "How dare you humiliate me?" "Humiliation?" I laughed, feeling a grim satisfaction. "You want to talk about humiliation? How about a childhood spent as a servant? Or being barred from your birthday because I didn't have a degree?" "That's different," she said. "No, it's not," I retorted. "You belittled me my entire life, turned Dad and the twins against me. Guess what? I'm the only one who truly belongs in this family." Silence filled the line. "You've ruined everything," she eventually said, her voice shaking. "No, Mother. You ruined everything. I just exposed the truth. Next time you lecture someone on morality, consider your own actions." I hung up before she could reply. In the following months, our family changed dramatically. Dad's divorce went quickly, backed by solid lawyers and airtight evidence. Though Mother tried for a large settlement, her infidelity and the DNA results left her with little leverage. And she settled for far less than a lavish divorce life. She moved to another city, and I felt no loss. The family gossip mill churned incessantly, yet many relatives were satisfied. She had it coming, Aunt Jane remarked over coffee, always acting superior. She even lectured me at Christmas about my kids, while being the hypocrite she was. As for Dad, we are rebuilding a true relationship this time. He calls regularly, and I've had him over for dinner. He's still healing, but he smiles occasionally. The twins, I haven't spoken to since. They tried calling at first, but I blocked their numbers. Revenge? No, it's justice, I decided. Mother spent years creating a facade of virtue, treating me like a second-class citizen. I only revealed her true self to everyone.